It is First Thursday, and you know what that means for Weekly Wing. It's a taste test day. And so we thought that today we would have a little bit of fun and play around in the world of really good fats. We're going to do taste testing peanut butter, which we all know, but we'll also experiment with some other types of butters. So some nut butters, bean butters, and seed butters. So I'm kind of excited about it.
I am too. And a lot of these I haven't actually tasted before, so that's always fun to expose all of us to something brand new.
Yay!
All right. So we always start with our control. We always start with something that we're all really familiar with, and in this case, it is peanut butter.
And even though, honestly, I like crunchy peanut butter, this is a smooth one. Sorry.
That's all right. So peanut butter, we know peanuts ground up into butter. Now, peanuts are actually a bean, not a nut, even though they have nut in the name. There's a lot of mold issues with peanut butter, which is one of the reasons why some people will avoid it, just because the way peanuts are grown and the way they're stored, they tend to get moldy. 2 grams of sugar in 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, so really low sugar option if you're looking to control your carbs. 2 grams of fiber, which is pretty good for 2 tablespoons of something. 18 grams of fat, not a shocker. We are testing healthy, yummy fats today. 3.5 grams of saturated fat. Not 35, because that math is not possible. And 7 grams of protein. So all of these are going to be good sources of healthy fat, good sources of protein, but little shift in sugars and all that. All right, so let's do our control. Let's test some peanut butter.
And of course, where possible, we chose organic to sample, and we also chose options that didn't include a lot of fillers in them. So if you're looking for a nut butter or a seed butter or a bean butter, you want to make sure that that's number 1 on the list. No added sugars.
We did not think about the talking after eating butters.
That's funny.
But one thing with peanut butter that I find sort of shocking and just annoying, even in just your general non-organic grocery store butters, is they always add sugar, which is completely unnecessary, and a lot of times they will add some extra thickening or filler agents. It's actually very challenging to find naturally sugar-free, just i.e. I didn't put sugar in something that doesn't need sugar, peanut butter, but do check your labels for that, because that's one of those hidden sources of sugar.
Yes.
That you're paying attention to your cookies, you're paying attention to soda, but there's sugar sort of sprinkled in foods you may not be anticipating, especially with kids. We know that kids get so much unnecessary sugar. And again, we also know that they're sugar fiends in general based on how their taste buds are set up. So, so they add sugar to foods for kids will eat more, but it is a really unnecessary source of sugar.
And I will say, too, if you are lucky enough to live near a big store like Whole Foods or Sprouts, they have grinders in the store. Even my favorite vegan store in Atlanta, well, vegetarian, Sevenanda, has a grinder. So you can actually get the nuts and stick them in the grinder. So you would be controlling the amount of sugar that's in there. So if you're lucky enough to have that availability, go for it. All right, so that was our first one, which is Golden Organics peanut butter.
Very yummy, very peanut buttery. All right.
Okay, next up we have almond butter. And again, all of these are going to be pretty good sources of protein, good sources of healthy fats, and even some fiber for many of them. Also importantly, no cholesterol. And so if you are concerned about consuming too much cholesterol, and we have to do a wink on that one day, the cholesterol controversies, because after all, we all need some cholesterol in our diet, but also zero trans fat. So the fats that we know are more commonly associated with promoting inflammation are not an issue with any of these that we are testing here today. So almond butter for 2 tablespoons, and all of our information is about 2 tablespoons. Try eating 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Spread out over your gluten-free toast. But for 2 tablespoons, there are 2 grams of sugar, 4 grams of fiber, so it's higher in fiber than the peanut butter was. The total fat is 16 grams, with 1 gram of that being a saturated fat. And again, that's something that we need to talk about one day, is the whole saturated fat controversy, because again, you still need some fats in your diet. 7 grams of protein. Now, almonds in general are a really great source of monounsaturated fatty acids, which are really nice to help with balancing those inflammatory markers in the blood. Also, really just good for lubrication. Lubricate your skin, lubricate your insides, lubricate your joints. You need those healthy fats. Almonds are also a great source of vitamin E, and vitamin E is so important for brain health. There's some correlation between age-related dementia, and even perhaps some inflammatory dementias and type 3 diabetes, Alzheimer's dementia, and low vitamin E levels. So this is a really healthy way to get vitamin E in. This one's a crunchy one now. I'm going to be more conservative than I was on that peanut butter scoop.
So Dr. Wade was talking about the vitamin E in almond butter. One of the things with the fats in nuts that we do need to mention is in your raw nuts, your unroasted nuts, those fats are in wonderful, beautiful, healthy shape. If your nuts are roasted, one of the things that roasting does is change fat structure. So depending on if you have raw nut butter or roasted nut butter, that can alter some of those great monounsaturated fatty acids to less healthy fatty acids and even potentially trans fats depending on the processing type.
Absolutely. So, moral of the story is don't choose the roasted peanut butter or the roasted nut butter. So this is Maranatha, which is a really, really popular brand of nut butters. They do almond butters. This one's a roasted one. They do almond butters. They do other nut butters. So they have a cashew butter. They're really good, and they're also clean, non-GMO, and organic.
And this one you can see, hopefully, the oil. This isn't all natural, so the oils separate. One of the tricks that kind of works is store that upside down if you have a natural nut butter. I say kind of because it should work, and I have yet to actually have it be that successful.
Yes.
But know that sometimes you have to mix your natural nut butters before you.
So it's a good way to build up those arm muscles because that separation happens in that almond butter. Yes, I never have been successful with upside down. In fact, I just Googled it before we started. So what was that hack again? Because it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Okay, but try it. Try it.
Yeah, and let us know if you have a better hack.
Please let me know how to keep the oils from separating.
All right, so our next one is a pecan cashew butter. And I think a pecan, depending what part of the country you're from. And this was a fun find from one of our local stores.
Yeah, so I am going to give a shout out. Across the street from us here at Elements in Columbus is Country Life Vegan Store and Restaurant. And so we're super lucky to be able to cross the street to get a lot of really healthy, meatless options. And I went over there today just to check if they had a different nut or seed butter, and I found this little pearl here. And I also have to give a special shout out to Shirley, the cook over there at the restaurant. The food is so good, so good. So give it a try if you're in the area.
And that's just, so this is Artisana Organic Raw Pecan and Cashew Butter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you.
Here, give you the non-held end.
That color, that looks good.
This is super yummy.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah, this is going to be one of my go-to snacks now that I know it exists.
That is so good. It actually has the most fat per serving out of all of our options here today at 19 grams. 2 of those grams are saturated fats. It's low in sugar though. Only 1 gram of sugar with 2 grams of fiber. So decent on fiber, low on sugar. It's also the lowest on protein though of all of ours. But dang, it's so good. It's so good. And remember, pecans are a really great source of beta-sitosterol, which has really beneficial effects in terms of lipid balance, and for men specifically helps to promote a healthy prostate. So include your pecans in your diet. Oh, that's good.
And cashew butter, this is another nice one if there is a grinder that you can try a little bit and to see if you like it before you invest. But cashew butter makes a really nice cream sauce replacement. So cashew butter with some water or some broth. There's some really good vegan recipes for cream soups that use cashew butter. And even if you're not vegan, sometimes you don't need the extra cream. Like make those choices in a way that's powerful. When if you're going to splurge, do it with deliberation, but don't let it sneak in. And that's one of the things that I'm not a vegan, but I try to eat vegan plus meat. So I really make sure that if I'm eating animal products, it's a deliberate choice and it's worthwhile and it's high quality. And I don't let it sneak into other places. And so this is a great and really, really delicious replacement for cream if you're a cream soup maker.
Yay.
All right, so finally, second to last, sun butter from sunflower seeds. Oops, as it's dripping all over the table. Oh, and this one also is goopy and needs to be stirred, which just shows that it's all natural. All right, I'm gonna say this one's a little bit of a weird color. It's a little funky.
Slightly greenish hue,
Yeah.
but I mean, I guess if you look at a batch of sunflower seeds, they are kind of sort of greenish. Oh, thank you. And the good thing about sunflower seed butter, is that it is not a nut. They're made from sunflower seeds, and so where nut allergies or sensitivities are an issue, and especially if you're having a big issue with autoimmune disease or trying to heal your leaky gut and avoiding nuts, sunflower butter would be an option for you. It is 3 grams of sugar, so let's see, higher than our previous nut butters, with 0 grams of fiber. So, yeah, I guess you'd be doing this for the mouthfeel. You're not doing it for the fiber piece of it. 16 grams of fat, 2 of those grams are saturated fat, and still high in protein, 7 grams of protein. So let me taste the slightly greenish.
So this actually reminds me of the taste of peanut butter in those like Lance crackers that you get for like 20 for $2.
Nostalgic.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it has that sort of peanut butter that's been around for a while taste. But it's an okay replacement. Not my favorite by far, but
I think kids would like it. It's a little sweet. This one, surely you jest. Oh yeah, I just said it. It has more sugar than the others. You can taste the sugar in there, and it does come in a creamy and a crunchy variety.
Yeah, and I definitely don't think any of these in a peanut butter sandwich or a normal kid peanut butter application, they're not going to really notice the difference. All right, so our final one is soy butter. This is Wow butter. I will show it to you before I open it this time. And this, of course, is made from soy. Now, we've talked about soy pretty extensively when we talked about milks and other, I know we've talked about it. I feel like we've talked about it at least 3 times through our weekly winks so far. Now, soy, of course, has GMO issues, so you always want to buy organic. But, there are phytoestrogens that people get concerned of. The research doesn't really support that concern, but there are certain situations where you wouldn't want to do the phytoestrogens. So it's, definitely a little more controversial in terms of it's not a blanket, everybody can do this. Where almond butter, as long as you're okay with nuts and almonds, everybody can do almond butter. So do consider that. Of course, organic only when it's soy, anything.
And definitely make sure you specifically look for that non-GMO label on your soy products.
That's a little too much. Tastes
like soy.
It tastes a lot like if you ever get the roasted soy nuts. It tastes like that, or even the corn nuts kind of have that same roasty taste. Not bad. A little grittier texture, probably a little harder to pull off in some ways than some of the other nut butters. But again, on some gluten-free bread or non-gluten-free bread with some low sugar, all natural jelly, I don't think your kids are going to notice a difference. I don't know that you would notice a difference. So it's definitely a nice variety of flavors and textures. They're all pretty similar and all tasty.
And the soy butter, the wild butter, has the most sugar per serving. So for that 2 tablespoons, it has twice as much sugar as peanut butter, as this peanut butter, and twice as much as this almond butter. It is the lowest in fat at 15 grams per serving, so it is a lower fat option, although of course we all know by now that fats are not really your enemies. It's the healthy fats that you need every day and the bad fats that you should avoid. 3 grams of saturated fat, and still at 7 grams of protein. So really all but the really yummy, indulgent pecan cashew butter were great sources of protein. And so, I think about in the morning, if you are rushed in the morning, doing 2 tablespoons of either of these is kind of a really good option to help to get some fuel in your blood, keep you balanced enough for the day to get you through the morning. No reason to skip breakfast. You could just maybe do a spoon on a piece of toast right fast, or on a piece of cracker.
It's also a really good option for that 3 o'clock snackish
yes,
time that's going to give you some fat, which is going to make you feel satiated. But it's a nice healthy fat. You can do it on an apple. You can do it with some banana because it feels a little more luxurious. So it's kind of that time when a lot of us, it's sort of that our blood sugar drops. We're out of our energy from earlier in the day. We kind of want that pick-me-up to get to dinner. This is a nice, healthy, fast way you can keep it in your desk, keep it in your work refrigerator, to just grab something and have a good version rather than going to, a baked good or the Coke machine or one of those very easy things to go to at that time of day when our willpower is all used up, which is another wink we should do. How willpower is a finite quality, and actually you have a budget.
And you need to spend wisely.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us on Taste Test Thursday. I just realized something. We never really introduced ourselves. So let's start. I'm Dr. Wade.
I'm Dr. Murphy.
And we have been having so much fun with you guys this year with doing these weekly winks. We so appreciate your feedback. We appreciate your comments. We definitely want you to like, and we absolutely want you to share. Our goal is really in these little nuggets each week to help to empower you to make really positive, healthy choices in your life, but also have a little bit of fun. So thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you share, and we will be back next week for the weekly wink. And yum.
All right, well, enjoy your new nut butter. Let us know how you feel. If you try something new, definitely share that in the comments as well. All right, see you next Thursday.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to say, if you have any ideas, I know. And one more thing, if you have any ideas for our Taste Test Thursdays, which are always the first Thursday of the month, please, please, please give them to us. We would love to be guinea pigs and to try things out and give you our honest opinions on how they taste and how they feel in our tongues, but also how they may be great things to add for health and how they may just be, side fun projects. But we really have a lot of fun doing this. So please give us your feedback. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Bye-bye.